Hi, my name is Y-Liang Wang. Today I will start the serial cooking show. I would like to dedicate this show to Winnipeg, the city I love, the city I lived for last 20 years. I grew up in Taiwan. The weather most of the part is nice and warm. So my friends there always wondering why I am stuck in this cold place. They don't know the secret here. One day, I was walking at the Red River. The sun is so bright. The sky is blue. The air is cold and fresh. So fresh, I can feel my lung is full of oxygen. I'm so happy. That's it. I'm happy here. The Winnipeg winter is all right. Just need a little bit recreation and excitement. I always like to eat, but sometimes I do feel making a good meal brings more joy to life. So, in this little while, I hope I can bring some joy to your kitchen. So let's start. And we cook, you smile. I hope in the end, you cook, we smile. Today we will make dumplings. It's Northern Chinese flavor. You look at this shape, it's just like gold nuts and gold nugget. And it represents money, wealth. If you have money, you have wealth, you have fortune. So this is must for celebrating Chinese New Year's. It's very easy to make. And making meat dumplings, we separate 4 parts. First, you have to making the dough. Second, you have to make the fillings. The third part, you're making dumplings. The 4 parts, you're cooking dumplings. So let's start making the first part, preparing the dough. And roughly, you use 2 cups of all-purpose flours and a little bit less than 1 cup of water. And then you will making about 30 to 40 size of this dumplings. And you use the cold water, and gradually you put in the water to the dry flours, and try to push away the dry flours, and try to make the water and the flour well mixed. And put it in gradually. Don't put too fast. And then gradually you will have the little ball of flour. Now it's in between dry and wet. And actually, if you follow the recipe, 2 cups of flour with about 3/4 of water will be right. So, and then you can work on the lightly flour ball and then try to knead a uniform dough. Just push it, everything together to the center. And then for the first time you try at home, just follow the proportion. 2 cups of dry all-purpose flour with about 3/4 of fresh water. And sometimes, just like today, I didn't really measure, but so the dough is a little bit wet. Don't panic, okay? Just put a little bit flour, dry flour, to your hands. And keep kneading. If you find your hands is too wet, just do this and have a little bit of flour. Okay, it's happened if it's too dry. You just put in a little bit of water. About 2-3 minutes, and then you will have uniform dough. But at this time, the dough is not really smooth. So you let the dough rest for a while until about 15 or half an hour later, you knead again until you have the smoother dough. And now the dough is ready to use. Now we're making the dumpling filling. And for the Northern Chinese people, dumpling is a complete meal itself. So we can use all kinds of meats in hand and all kinds of vegetables in hand. And today, we use ground pork as Chinese favorite meat. And we use the vegetables, most of the time we will according to the season. And now, the best Chinese vegetable we can get is a shih choy. So today, the meat dumpling is very, very simple. We use ground pork, and we use shih choy, and use some ginger, and use some green onions. So we start to treating the pork with some water and some seasoning. If we just mix everything together, the pork will be too dry. So we start with putting a little bit water. I need some water here. Roughly about 1 pound of pork. And we use chopstick or use wood spoon to gradually stir it in one direction. As I said, we can use all kind of meat, okay? If we use a beef, will very tasty too. But difference between ground beef and ground pork is when we making ground pork, we use a little bit less water. And use ground beef, we use a little bit more water. Okay, for 1 pound of pork, we roughly put in about 1/4 cup of fresh water. The reason why we have to the water and then we stir it, we try to make the fat part of the pork and lean part of the pork together, okay? Just turn it for a while, about one minute. Okay. And don't put the water at one time, okay? We gradually put it in. Until you will feel it, you see it, the meat almost follow the stick you're stirring. Okay, just a little bit more water will be done. Okay, and then we have to do this first, and then we put in seasoning. And then we put some salt, about 1 pound of pork, use about ½ teaspoon to 1 teaspoon. Some people don't like too much salty flavor, put less. Myself, I like salt, so I put a little bit more. Okay. Put the salt, put some soy sauce. There's 2 kinds of soy sauce. One is light soy sauce, give flavor. And the other kind is dark soy sauce, not only give flavor, give color. So we put roughly about 1 tablespoon of light soy sauce, and see how much color you want. Sometimes you can put in 1 tablespoon and sometimes it's 2 tablespoons, okay? The dark soy sauce gives a kind of a very nice brown color. So you see the color you please your eyes, or you prefer have a little more dark soy sauce. And now the meat is supposed to be very soft and very manageable. Seems very taking order. You see, it's follow your chopstick. Since you can turn forever. Okay, after the soy sauce, and then we can put some seasoning. Okay, very simple. We only put two kinds. Ginger and the green onion, we never categorize as vegetables. It's spices, okay? And then this is the ginger, I think everybody knows. Take off the skin and chop out the ginger, very fine. You can use machine, you can use the Chinese cleaver, chop it. And the same thing as green onions, okay? And cut off the roots and take off the rough skins and chop up. Okay. Now we put it in. Today we use a pork filling, so I don't put too much ginger. Roughly about 1 tablespoon. If you're preparing for the beef, you can use up about 2 tablespoons of chopped ginger. I found ginger and beef is great combinations. Okay, and then we put in some chopped green onions. And if you like black pepper, you can put in some ground black pepper. 1/4 teaspoon or 1/2 teaspoon will be all right. As I said, because for the Chinese people, especially northern Chinese people, dumpling is complete meal. So we can put some vegetables. If you're taking dumplings as part of dinner, and you will have very good vegetable dish prepared, you don't need to put in the vegetables. Okay? Today, I make it a complete meal. So we will use some vegetables. Okay? So we use this. You see, the vegetables uncooked, it's crisp. So we need to cook the vegetable briefly until it's soft. And then we chop it up in small pieces. And some vegetable is dry, some vegetable is wet. So after you cook the vegetable, after you chop the vegetable, and try to squeeze out the water. Today this is very dry, so I don't need, you see, not much water dripping, so I can put some vegetables. How much vegetables? Just depends how much vegetable you need. But so for the Chinese people, we always like a balance. So half and half. 1 part of meat with 1 part of vegetables. So you see, today, this much meat, so I will put in about equal amount of vegetables.